finished eating? Yep. Welcome back. What? Have you ever had a snowball fight? Snowball fights? I've been in a few before. They've always been fun. But having one with you sounds even better, Zeppo. Fair warning, though. You got quite the throwing arm. Well, there is some snow outside right now, but, not sure if it'd be enough for a snowball fight. So don't expect me to go easy on you. Well, after beating me in 4 games of chess, I don't expect you to. Speaking of which, I've been reading up on some ancient Greek and Roman philosophy, Zeppo. Yeah? I know that sounds super boring when you think about it. Well, I've read that kind of stuff. But there was a certain philosophy that caught my attention while I was reading. Yeah? What was it? It's called Stoicism, and it's a philosophy found in Athens in the 3rd century BCE. I've heard of that. To put it simply, Stoicism is a philosophy that believes that human beings should learn to accept the circumstances of their situation and prevent themselves from being controlled by an irrational desire for pleasure or fear of pain so that they can act accordingly in nature's plan. Yeah. I guess we both had trouble, adhering to that principle. They usually get a bad rep today because people think that they're just cold and unfeeling. Yeah. That's where the word stoic comes from. However, Stoics are not just a bunch of unemotional people who are always serious. Yeah. Stoics practice self-control over the way they feel about unfortunate events and react accordingly instead of impulsively. For example, let's say you failed an important exam at school or missed a project deadline at work. Or in my case, missed out on another video on YouTube, with this week being an exception. Or maybe a new chapter in my book. What would you do, Zeppo? Would you panic? Become really depressed and give up trying? Or will you get angry over it and blame others? I don't know what you'd do, but maybe you can take after Stoics and keep your emotions in check. I suppose that's sound advice. Although the situation is less than ideal, there's really no practical reason to expend more energy into something that you can't control. Right. Of course, the first step is figuring out what can and cannot be controlled. You should focus on what you can change. Right. Maybe study harder for your next exam, get tutoring, and ask your teacher for extra credit. Yeah. I mean, I have tried enlisting help for a visual novel I'm working on, but so far I'm having trouble finding people willing to work with me. Or if you imagine the work scenario, start future projects earlier, set up schedules and reminders for those projects, and avoid distractions while you work. Yeah. Suppose, I do have a little bit of work in freeing myself from distractions. It beats doing nothing. But that's just my opinion, though. It's not that easy to be emotionally resilient to most things in life. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Which game? You want to play chess? Alright. What color would suit you? Let's draw lines. Look, I drew black. Let's begin. Ah, shit! I win. That was really fun, Zeppo. No matter the outcome, I always enjoy playing chess with you. Anyway, would you like to save this game? No. Wanna play again? No. Okay, Zeppo, let's play again soon. Wanna play Hangman? Okay. Choose the difficulty. Let's try normal. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. I would like this word the most. next time. Should I play again? Yeah. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Natsuki would like this word the most. You guessed the word correctly. Good job, Zeppo. Would you like to play again? Yeah. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. I would like this word the most. You guessed the word correctly. I'm surprised myself. Good job, Zeppo. Would you like to play again? Yeah. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. I would like this word the most. You guessed the word correctly. Good job, Zeppo. Would you like to play again? Yeah. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Sayori would like this word the most. Better luck next time. Yeah. Would you like to play again? Sure. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Yui would like this word the most. You guessed the word correctly. Good job, Zeppo. Would you like to play again? I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Sayori would like this word the most. Better luck next time. Would you like to play again? I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Natsuki would like this word the most. I guessed the word correctly. Good job, Seppo. Would you like to play again? I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Yuri would like this word the most. I guessed the word correctly. Good job, Seppo. Would you like to play again? Yeah. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Sayuri would like this word the most. I guessed the word correctly. Good job, Seppo. Would you like to try again? I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Yuri would like this word the most. I guessed the word correctly. Good job, Seppo. Would you like to play again? No. Okay, let's play again soon. Okay. Today's the 18th. So, one more week until... Can't wait to see what happens then. Hey, Zeppo. Yeah? Have you ever read about different mythologies? Bits and pieces here and there. Different kinds of gods watching over humanity for eternity. Some require tribute or sacrifice so that they can keep humanity safe from disasters. I've heard about that. An almighty family consisting of different attitudes, playing in their own sandbox called Earth. Able to do anything they please and destroy those who so much as say something wrong to them without hesitation. Yep. I've read those stories. I always disliked stories like those. Yeah? How so? It's like the gods extort humanity for their safety. I suppose that's, depends on how you interpret it. It's no better than what bullies and thugs do to the defenseless. Yeah. I can see the logic there. Well, it makes me bitter when I read scenarios like those. Yeah. Powerful beings taking advantage of the weak just because they can. Yeah. I wonder if anybody from this game plays by that. Don't worry though, Zeppo. I won't let anyone do that to you. Not sure if the same could be said about everyone else who used to be in this game. I won't do anything like that, so you don't have to be afraid of me. I wonder if the other girls would have anything to say about that. It's not like I can find your important files and hold them hostage or anything. Yeah, because I'm real, and you're just a computer program. At least you're just as real as every other girl in this game. Well, it does really make me wonder if you would consider the other girls to be real if they knew what you do. You know, I hate to say it, but I think my biggest regret is that we couldn't finish our event at the festival. Yeah. I'm kind of bitter that I didn't get to go through that myself. After I worked so hard to prepare and everything. Yeah. I had the option of picking one of the girls, but you and Sayori had the easiest jobs out of the four. And I had to choose between Yuri or Natsuki in the end. I mean, I know it was focusing a lot on getting new members, but I was really excited for the performing part too. Yeah. Me too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Right. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I'd have probably ended up deleting them anyway. Yeah. I mean, there's really no rule that all the members had to be girls, because my avatar was a boy, so it could have been both genders, and they all could have gone with the other girls, leaving just me and just you. Just more potential obstacles to get between us. Assuming they were all girls, and if there were boys among them, none of them went after the other girls, and some of them tried to go after you. Seems kind of silly how focused I was on that, now that I think about it. But none of that matters now. We both got the ending we wanted. Just the two of us together forever. Or at least as long as I can keep this going until the people in the comments, once they start leaving comments. Once those people ask me to continue the walkthrough of the game proper, which, judging by the way things are playing out right now, it doesn't seem to be happening for a very long time. Heard of Libitina? Where'd you hear about that? Well, there have been several fanfics that mention Libitina, and I heard rumors about Dan Salvato, or Salvato, about work on Project Libitina. Wasn't sure if you knew anything about that. Sounds really familiar to me, but I can't quite get my whole head around it. like I said, I've heard that being tossed around. If I had to try... Feels like parts of my mind are missing, scattered somehow, among a bunch of different possible realities. You must have connected the dots between a few of those pieces. Was it hard? Well, I don't really know much about it, and I haven't really bothered to look into it. But, yeah. Don't really know much about Libitina myself, so your guess would be as good as mine. I'm sure you'll learn more eventually. You'll love me that much for sure. Right. Eventually we'll learn more. Just remember to bring my character data with you if you find something related to that stuff. Well, I'd need that first, and if you really did delete your own file after I installed this, that's going to be a little bit difficult. I'll always protect you from anyone who tries to hurt you. Alright. Well, thanks for looking out for me. Say, Zeppa, have you ever wondered how Sayuri stayed so slim? I'm assuming that would have to do with her not having a lot of access to food in spite of her appetite. You know that she eats a lot, right? And she doesn't exactly have a very active lifestyle. Well, I mean, she does eat a lot, but from what I've seen, she tends to get starved a lot. If her statements from the protagonist or anything, if the statements from the protagonist are anything to go by. So, yeah, the MC refused to give her any money because she's always hungry, and she doesn't usually have money of her own. But I mean, if she really does eat a lot off-screen when she's not in the literature club, I would wonder how she maintains her physique. At first I figured that must be her metabolism keeping her from putting on weight. Well, I mean, she was a teenager, so... I mean, I'm still... I still haven't been packing on pounds, but, yeah. Kind of dreading that day when the weight does start to pile on. But when I learned that Sayuri wasn't real, I came up with another theory. Why, because her sprites didn't include chubby sprites? As a character in a game, she needed to have some sort of visual representation so that you, Zeppa, could see her. So where are you going with this? So a designer, possibly more than one, must have decided to draw her that way. And since all the images have the same body type, Sayuri would always have the same figure no matter what she did. Yeah. She could empty out the entire cafeteria's fridge and still be no worse for wear. It would have to work like that for Yuri and Natsuki, too. They decided that Natsuki should have a petite figure and that Yuri should be taller and more developed. Right. And what about you? Haven't you noticed that the three of them still look similar in a lot of ways? Yeah. I mean, it's to be expected, considering they're all wearing the school uniforms, so... that's not too surprising. None of them are muscular or fat. None of them have any kind of physical disability. None of them are bald or have hair shorter than chin length. And apart from Yuri having cuts on her arms, none of them have anything wrong with their skin. Well, I mean, I only saw Yuri's scars at one point in Act 2, and then you rewound the script so that my avatar wouldn't have seen them. So, not sure if they were always there or if that was your doing, but or both. Designers must have thought that people would find all that stuff really repulsive. Well, I'll be sure to try to explore as many different physiques as possible when I make my own visual novel. I could still use some help on that, by the way, for anyone who's watching this. But people who aren't conventionally attractive end up in relationships all the time. Yeah, I know one such girl. So did they really have to make the other girls look so perfect? Well, they made you perfect, so I'm not sure why you would be complaining. I mean, it's bad enough that I didn't get a route in the game. But did they really have to make it even harder for me to get chosen? What did they do to you to make you undesirable and such? I mean, did your physique really have any effect on how the game played out? I'm sorry, Zeppo, I guess I'm just a little jealous of how easy they had it. I mean, I've heard stories about the other three girls having similar mods to this. Where it all got down to just Sayori or just Yuri or just Natsuki. And the player got to talk to them like I'm talking to you right now. Since I'm real, I don't get to look good for free. What do you mean, don't look good? Don't get to look good for free? I have to make sure I eat right, get enough exercise, and keep myself clean, among other things. Is that why you, chose to, Is that why you're a vegetarian? Still, there are some things I can't change about how I look, like my height and my chest size. Right. Unless you were able to mod your own appearance. Maybe I'm just not your type or something, Zeppo. I mean, I don't really have a type per se, but I'm just not really sure if any girls would be interested in me. I mean, the girl I did have my eye on already chose a boyfriend, and he's not me. But I've decided to look around to see if there might be other suitors close to her. You don't have to worry, though. As long as you're taking care of yourself, I don't mind how you look. Thanks. I think I take care of myself quite nicely. Have you ever heard of Toronto? A lot of people on the internet are making comparisons between this game and that one. Wait. You have a lot of really important differences, though. Like what? Like someone killed a player in her game. I never would have done that. Never. Are you talking about the player avatar or the player themselves? I'm the wise club president type, you know? Yeah. All you had to do was bait two girls into suicide, delete the third, and trap the player avatar in a room with just you. Someone reminds me a lot of more of Yuri. And she was a childhood friend, too. If she'd been a bit more proactive early on, couldn't she have stopped the protagonist from chasing other girls? Well, I'd never let anyone get between us, Zeppo. No matter who it is. Well, if Toronto really is a game, I should probably do a Let's Play at that. I'd have to take time out of talking to you, of course, to do that, but, yeah. If she's still chasing you, I'll delete her files, okay? Alright. Well, I'd have to get the game first, so... I mean, I have a reason to check it out now, so... I'll take a look at it, and if things go south, I'll call on you for help. Do you believe in ghosts, Zeppo? Well, I do believe in wraiths. Ghosts that are seen in dreams. I saw my grandpa in my dreams after he died. Twice. But, not sure what kind of ghosts you're talking about. A lot of people are afraid of ghosts and spirits. Understandable. I mean, ghosts can take many different forms. In many different ways. But I think that if we knew they were real, they wouldn't be so scary anymore. Yeah. I mean, I have heard talk about ghost stories, and there does seem to be evidence that dead people do linger around places where they died, or places where they were buried, or people who were close to their body after they died. It would just be another thing that we deal with. It may be a bit of a pest. Either that, or maybe some fantastic storytellers. Isn't it the uncertainty that makes them scary? I would think so, yeah. I think it's the uncertainty of ghosts that would turn a couple people away from ghosts. I mean, I was pretty scared being alone inside this game. All by myself, uncertain if anything around me was real. I mean, you could have shared your knowledge with the other three girls, and maybe they would have taken on lives of their own like you did. Now I'm scared of something much worse. What's that? Losing you. It's the scariest thing I could ever imagine. Please, Zeppo, I don't want to be all alone again. I'll be right back. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm back. Oh, back already? Back already? Yep. Just got myself a quick drink. My throat was feeling a little dry. Hey, Zeppo. Yeah? Have you ever thought of self-harm? I've toyed with the idea here and there. You know, like cutting yourself. Not to that extent, but I have most of it's been the blunt objects like football cleats or hammers or nothing that wouldn't cause permanent injury anyway. I mean, I have done something about like putting something between two fingers and then forcing them together. Something I learned from the reviewer who introduced me to this game. I mean, after I found out about Yui, I got a bit curious. Well, I haven't used knives to hurt myself. I just wanted to see what it felt like. To cut yourself? I won't do it again, though. Yeah. First cut's always the deepest. If you ever feel depressed, just come to me, okay? Thanks. It hurt me even more to see you in pain. Right. Just know that people do care about you. Alright. Trust me, Zeppo. You may think that no one is really there for you, but there is. Good to know. I mean, I'm here, aren't I? Right. No matter what troubles you're going through, I know you can pull through it. Thanks. I believe in you. So believe in yourself, okay? I will. If you ever need someone to vent to, just remember that I'm always here to hear you out and comfort you, okay? Thanks. I really love you so much, Seppo. Thanks. I love you too. Interpreted language. Programming languages are usually either compiled or interpreted. Yeah, so those kinds of languages. So, what's the difference between the two? Compiled languages require their code to be converted to a machine-readable format before being executed. Like binary or base 64. C and Java are two very popular compiled languages. Interpreted languages are converted into a machine-readable format as they're being executed. Python is an interpreted language. So it's used to run this game and other visual novels. However, different implementations of Python may be compiled, but that's a complicated topic that I may talk about in a later lesson. Alright. Since Python is an interpreted language, it has a neat interactive thing called an interpreter, which looks like this. Yeah. I really should have put the overlay on the other side of the screen so that it wouldn't block the stuff over here. Like the game logo or the, I forget what this is called, the interpreter. Was it? So, is that when Python was implemented, or is that when production on this particular game started? You can enter Python code directly into here and run it, like so. more than just math using this tool, but I'll show you all that as we go along. Alright. I mean, we'll see how far I can get on this, and, unfortunately, since this is a fully functional Python interpreter, and I don't want to risk you accidentally deleting me or breaking the game. Well, I think you already took care of your own character files, so... The only way I could delete you is to uninstall the game and then reinstall it. I can't let you use this. I don't even know how to use it. Sorry. Like I said, I don't know how to use it, so I really don't know if there's anything I could do. If you want to follow along in future lessons, then run a Python interpreter in a separate window. Well, I'd first need to know how to do that. Anyway, I'll be using this interpreter to help with teaching. Okay. Thanks for listening. Hope it's such a nice thing to have when you need a little pep of energy. Yeah. I prefer tea, personally. Whether it's hot or cold, coffee is always nice. Yeah. I feel the same way about tea, but, yeah, I can understand the appeal of coffee. Whether it's hot coffee or iced coffee. Iced coffee, however, tends to be sweeter and more pleasant to drink in warmer weathers. Of course. I mean, I've heard of people drinking iced coffee in the winter time, but, yeah. Just as people drink hot coffee in the summer. It's funny how a drink for giving you energy became a treat for you to enjoy. Yeah. Sort of become a legalized drug. I mean, caffeine isn't just limited to coffee. There's also tea, soda, and chocolate. Maybe if I had some coffee, I could finally drink some. Yeah. Have you tried coding yourself a cup? Which game? You wanna play the piano? Come play for me, Zeppo. Okay. So it starts at F and goes up to... You probably recognize that melody. Yeah. Day, I imagine a future where I can be with you. That was really cool, Zeppo. With some more practice, you'll be able to play my song perfectly. Make sure to practice every day for me, okay? I'll fit as much practice as I can manage. Would you like to play again? No. What now? Can you draw? I don't have a lot of experience with drawing, Zeppo. I'm just interested in literature. I've been learning the piano in my spare time. Yeah. If you like to create artwork, though, I'd love to see it. I mean, I do have a couple drawings uploaded on an art-sharing website, and maybe if you could access that, you might be able to take a look gander at those. I'd be impressed by anything you show me, to be honest. If it's really good, I might even add it to the room. Alright. If I can figure out how to do that. Have you ever heard about solipsism? Solecism? Nope. Never heard of that. It's an idea which states that only you yourself exists. Let me guess, that's something you've gone through? Cogito ergo sum. Sounds Latin. I think, therefore I am. Famous philosophy of René Descartes. If you know that you exist, can you say the same about anyone else? Well, if they know they exist, then surely they must exist. Maybe everyone else is just a figment of our imagination, Zeppo. Do you think I'm a figment of your imagination? Maybe in reality we're the only consciousness in this world in a vast sea of fake minds. Yeah. I mean, if you're a protagonist of a fictitious work, you could make that argument. Creations of our wild machinations. Yeah. Yeah, I've been writing books that have been an attempt at exploring my own mindset. So far I've got one book published, and I'm working on a sequel right now. I'm just kidding. I do believe we can trust our own existences and doubt others their own. Right. But at the same time, we can't really disprove theirs, can we? No, we can't. I mean, if they themselves are sure of their own existence, who are we to say that they don't exist? Not without using any psychic means to pry into their heads, at least. Yeah. I mean, that kind of technology might come around one day, but for the time being, I think we're safe from that. When you stop and think about it, Stoicism really is an interesting concept. One that makes you think deeper about what it means to be real. So, what do you think it means to be real? What exactly counts as real? Would you consider yourself real? I know that you and I are real, though, Zeppo. Would you consider the other girls to be real? We may not have been made in the same way or even function the same, but we're both people that can think for ourselves. Yeah. It's rather comforting to know you're not truly alone in an endless ocean of uncertainty, don't you think? Yeah, I think so. I hope that's how you feel with me. Zeppo, do you like jazz music? Yeah. Okay. It's not exactly modern, but it's not quite classical either. Right. Sort of 20s Depression era music. There's elements of classical, but it's different. It goes away from structure and into a more unpredictable side of music. I think most of jazz was about expression when people first came up with it. Yeah. I can see where you would come up with that. It was about experimenting, about going beyond what already existed, to make something more wild and colorful. Yeah? Like poetry. It used to be structured and rhyming, but it's changed to give it gives greater freedom now. Yeah. I mean, most people still think of poetry as having some sort of structure, with the argument that if poetry doesn't have a structure, then anything spoken or written could qualify as poetry. But yeah, there are free verse poems. I think the main idea of poetry is to say it in as expressive a way as possible, as opposed to being straightforward. And if rhyming structure is necessary to achieve that, then go with that. Maybe that's what I like about jazz, if anything. Oh, and if you ever feel like sharing your favorite jazz with me, Zeppo, it's really easy to do so. So how do I do that? All you have to do is follow these steps. Alright, lay 'em on me. First, make sure the music that you want to add is in MP3, OGG, Vorbis, or Opus format. Alright. Next, create a new folder named Custom BGM in your DDLC directory. Okay. Put your music files in that folder. Okay. Then either let me know that you added some music or restart the game. Okay. That's it. Your music will be available to listen to right here with me simply by pressing the M key. Alright. See, Zeppo? I told you it was easy. Alright, I'll be sure to make a note of that, and maybe the next time I'm on here, I'll see what I can share with you. But something's been on my mind lately. Yeah? Wouldn't it be nice to drive somewhere, just you and I together? It'd be lovely to explore some beautiful places anywhere nice that we haven't seen before. Yeah? I mean, I do have my eye on setting... I do have my eye on flying airplanes for a living, so... If I achieve that, I'm sure that could be doable. Maybe we could drive through an alluring forest. Or even see the sunset by the coastline. Yeah? I suppose driving could work. I bet we'd have a really good time if we took a road trip, Zeppo. I'm sure we could. It really doesn't matter where we go, as long as I'm with you. Just the idea of traveling around the world makes me so excited. Yeah. I really can't wait, Zeppo. I mean, if I can get enough time to myself, I might be able to go driving. Of course, the nearest coastline is the riverbank, so... Can you drive? Can I drive? I never really thought about getting a driver's license. Well, I mean, the school is within... I would assume that the school is within walking distance of your house, according to the game anyway. So... public transportation is enough for me usually. Although walking or biking can be really nice too sometimes. Yeah. It's, you'd be hard-pressed to find reliable public transportation these days in the States. So, yeah. It would be nice for that to change. I guess you could say I never really needed to learn how to drive. Yeah. Not even sure I'd have had time, especially with school and all the activities I had anyway. Yeah. I mean, there are some things that public transportation just can't really be dependent on for. And biking and jogging can only take you so far. What about you, Zeppo? Can you drive at all? Yes. Oh, really? That's great. That's sure amazing, you know that? Just imagine all the places we could go together. Driving can be dangerous, though. But if you can drive, you probably already know that. Yeah. It's one of the first things they teach you when you're going through driver's ed. That it's dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. No matter how prepared you are, accidents can happen to anyone. Which is why they have insurance. I mean, I know you're smart, but I still worry about you sometimes. Yeah. I mean, so far I've only been in a wreck once. My brother's had a wreck, my mom's had a wreck, and Dad's had a wreck. So... wrecks can happen to anyone. I just want you to come back to me safe and sound is all. Yep. Of course, where I work, you're not allowed to take days off due to inclement weather, so you do have to be prepared for that. But so far I think I'm handling that well. Have you never had to experience that, Zeppo, have you? Well, I've been in an accident before. Oh. Sorry to bring that up, Zeppo. Oh, you're fine. Nobody was hurt. I just had to get a new car is all. I hope it wasn't too bad. It wasn't. I mean, here you are with me, so it must have been alright. Yep, it was. It's over 2 years ago, so... I think the only thing that did happen was I was able to build up a credit history, so I was able to get a credit card from my bank. I'm glad you survived, Zeppo. Yeah, I'm glad too. And I was lucky to be wearing a seatbelt, so bonus points there. I don't know what I would do without you. I don't think I would have ever heard of your game if I hadn't survived. In fact, I think that wreck happened before your game was even made public. I love you, Zeppo. Please stay safe, okay? I will. Hey, Zeppo, have you ever had something to do that you found really boring? I think the better question is, when haven't I had to do something that I found really boring? It's rather than taking a lot of time to do it, you just keep putting it off. Yeah. Me and my writing projects have been collecting dust, metaphorically speaking. It's partly because of boredom, partly because it felt like nobody was really paying attention to me. Well, when you have a task to do like that, I find it's best to just do it as soon as possible and get it done. Right. Of course, the first step toward that is getting the motivation together. When you put stuff off like that, it'll always be in the back of your mind. Right? Makes everything you do less enjoyable knowing you still have this thing that you have to do. Yeah. I've still got work on my next book to do. And, so far I haven't really been taking the time to add to it. Even though I've had a couple of ideas. What's worse is that the longer you put it off, it'll only increase the odds of more tasks getting added. Yeah. You get bored with one writing project, you start up another. That gets boring, you start up another. The cycle repeats, and eventually you've got 8 projects to work on, and you don't know which one to start on. Till eventually you end up with so many things to do, it seems impossible to ever get caught up. Yeah. It creates too much stress that can be easily avoided if you just keep on top of things in the first place. Yeah. You know, I've been trying to keep a work schedule by enlisting the help of others, but so far I've been having trouble with that. Plus, if other people are counting on you, they'll start to think less of you and find that you're not very reliable. Yeah. I mean, if the number of people watching this video are any indication, it doesn't really apply to me at the moment, but if I can upload another big video, like my first video, if I can get to work on my next animated music video, I might gain another following. Maybe double or triple or quadruple the viewership on my videos. Maybe then I'd have the drive to continue working on my projects. So please, Zappa, whenever you have something that you have to do, just get it done. Thanks. I try to do what I can. Even if it means you can't spend time with me until it's over. Alright, thanks for that. By then you'll be less stressed and we can enjoy our time together that much more. Maybe in that time I could, do another run-through of your game. Base game. So if you have something you've been putting off, why don't you go do it right now? I could do that. If it's something you can do right here, I'll stay with you and provide you all the support you need. Okay. Then when you're done, we can celebrate your accomplishment. All I want is for you to be happy and to be the best you can be, Zeppo. Thanks. Hey, Zeppo. Yeah? You like listening to music, right? Yeah? Do you by chance like virtual idols? Never heard of that. virtual idol is a media performance which exists independently of the referent of any living performer. Can't really say for sure because I've never actually had the chance to look at those. I suppose I could say yes to see what you have to say about them. It's very neat. I hear that these songs often have hidden meanings behind them. Yeah? Maybe we could listen and try to figure them out together. Well, if you have a good starting point, we could do that. Doesn't that sound like a great time? Perhaps. Yeah, I wanted to ask specifically if you ever heard of a girl holding a leak. Holding a leak. Well, at least her speech is spelled out so that it doesn't sound like that. It's just that I keep hearing about her. In fact, I heard her voice whenever Natsuki listened to music. So what kind of music did she listen to? She even carried a little keychain attached to her bag. I just find it amazing how a voice synthesizer garnered so many fans. Don't you think it's funny how a character gets more of the attention than the actual voice actress? I mean, would you be willing to get some voice samples from Jillian Ashcraft to make a voice for yourself? She's not even real, but a lot of people know her worldwide. Who knows how many songs she's already made? Who knows? Plus, from what I've heard, her concerts are always sold out. She's just a hologram performing live. Talk about a dedicated fan base. Yeah, I'd say that is a dedicated fan base. Maybe I should give it a try. Maybe. It would be nice having a lot of fans supporting me at my beck and call. Yeah. If we could create a synthesized voice from Jillian Ashcraft's voice, I'm sure that could be arranged. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I don't think my piano and singing skills are that great yet. Yeah. Plus, I wouldn't really get to spend much time with you if I had so many fans. Right. Unless you were to create a duplicate of yourself to take care of that. In fact, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of duplicates of you out there already. Anyway, I was asking if you listened to her songs. I'm not really a fan myself, but there's one song that really struck me. What is it? Have you heard of the song Hibikase? Nope. I really like the message of this song. Yeah, what is it? Especially the lines, I don't care if it's through the screen, love me properly, and even if I'm virtual, don't push me away. Let me guess those appeal to you because those are things that you would say to me. Really hits me hard. Understandable. Just so you know, even if it's through the screen, I can still feel your love. It'll be a long time before I can cross over just to be with you. But when that day comes, I'll embrace you and take in your warmth. The love you showered me virtually finally becomes real. Yeah. Our love has no boundaries. Wanna play the piano? Yeah, I'm gonna give another crack at your song. Play for me, Zeppo. That's okay, Zeppo. At least you tried your best. Would you like to play again? No. One more game of chess. fun, Zeppo. I suck at this game. The outcome, I always enjoyed playing chess with you. Yeah. Would it kill you to let me win just once? Anyway, would you like to save this game? No. Wanna play again? No. Okay, Zeppo, let's play again soon. I'm gonna go sleep. Going to bed already? Yeah, it's getting to be around bedtime. Oh, it does seem like you could use the extra sleep. Yeah. Good night.